Good morning, YouTube. Hope everyone's having an awesome morning. Oh, excuse me, so good. So we're at the house today. We did a little bit of work out there. There's a bunch of trees that fell down. We had a huge ice storm here in Ontario. So there's a lot of trees down in the yard and that. So I went out, I showed the house to potential people that might want to buy it. And we took a couple hours and cleaned it up. My stupid chainsaw broke. Thanks, Pop. She gave me a defective one. I'm going to have to take the carb apart and replace the little tab on the pull cord, if anyone knows about that stuff. Not a huge deal. I'll do that in my spare time. I'm not too worried about it. Not a huge rush. So today we're going to get into the Transformers' ugly cousin, and that is the Gobot. These toys were produced by Tonka from 83 to 87, guys. Kitty! Damn cat! Oh. This is a closed set, you mangy feline. You know bloopers reel. This is, every video I make is a bloopers reel. I guess we're having a cameo from Orange Kitty today. The Gobots were intellectual property of Bandai. Tonka produced them from 83 to 87. And I think Hasbro ended up with the toys rights in the 90s for these. Did precede the Transformers. Cool little toy line. Didn't quite take off over here like the Transformers did. Again, all these toy lines were competing. Mask, Transformers, Gobots. Then you even had stuff like Jason the Wheeled Warriors and this vehicle-based toy stuff. It was really hot in the 80s. They made some really cool toys. These are not as detailed as the Transformers, in my opinion, but they are still really neat, and they're fairly collectible. Come across a few in yard sales and been able to sell them really quick for decent money. Not huge, like $20 or $30 or so, as long as they're in good shape. I'll babble on about them too long. Everyone knows about these figures, so we're going to get right into it, guys. First one up is the Apollo. Now, this is obviously modeled after a rocket ship, ripping off NASA and all. Obviously, Apollo, goes without saying. So the bottom one went for $286. They took an offer on this, so probably around $250, and then the top one were at $543. The bottom one is yellowed, so that's why the price is what it is. If you find one that's all white and complete like this on the top, you can expect to get over $500. And then even the one on the bottom is a good example of what you're probably going to get if it's yellow and not in the best shape. So very highly collectible Gobot here, guys. A lot of them aren't super expensive, but I would say that they're good money makers nonetheless. They still have a really good fan base. Next up is Bullseye. This is obviously a fighter jet Gobot. Really cool design, 257 brand new and then 715 brand new. So the one on the bottom, to me, because the box is a little bent on the back, as you can see, top looks a little bit straighter, probably in better condition. I'm not too sure why the huge price disparity, though. Other than that, I don't see anything that differs. So there might be something going on that I'm not aware of. Or the price could just be all over the place, which it is a lot of the times with these toys. However, at a minimum, you can expect at least $250 or $715. If you find one loose, it's going to be substantially less. I didn't really see too many loose results for this figure. You're going to have to just take a shot in the dark on this. And honestly, if I found it loose, seeing that these are this price, I'd try for at least $100 on it, maybe higher. And you never know, some loose ones might pop up on eBay in the meantime. Next one up is Cycle. There's a couple different variations on this, guys. We'll go over all of them. So the bottom one is the reddish-orange one that went for $95. The middle one's more of a teal colored one, and it went for $57. And then the teal one on the top in the card, it says it's very good card, $233. They accepted an offer, probably $200 or something. Well, varying price on these. They're all worth at a minimum of $50, as you can see. I'm assuming if you found the orange one in the box, it might be worth more than the teal one. So you might get $250, $300 for it if the box is very nice as well. Nice little collectible, nothing too fancy or crazy with this design, just a motorcycle. Next up is the Dart 69. Again, another motorcycle design for this company. The bottom one was $93. You could pick whatever one you want. Middle one, they've got $85, and then the top, $572, one bid in package. You can really see the price disparity when stuff is new sealed in the package as opposed to loose. And this goes for all these old toys because most of them did get ripped apart by little snot-nosed kids like myself. And that's why you just don't see as many in the package. Really, you can tell with the Transformers and the Joes and stuff like that. They're crazy prices when they're packaged, guys. Next up is Her Fiend. To me, this looks like an old Nissan 280Z or maybe a Daytona or Probe. It's like that kind of body style. I was never a big fan of this body style in cars when I was growing up. I always thought they were kind of lame. It is what it is. Full story on this. Dave's cousins had one of those 80s Daytonas, the shitty Chrysler ones. They used to think they were Bo and Luke Duke, and they put the stupid General Lee horn in it. Absolute ridiculous, but you can see why Dave is how he is. Runs in the family. But back to her feed. It's still a neat little piece. As you can see, in the box, 37 on 15 bids, and then 57 loose and 50 on 10 bids in the box. So this is actually one of those collectibles that you could get for a reasonable price, add to your collection, keep it in the box, put it on the shelf and display it, and, you know, not break the bank over it. Next up is Leader 1 Gray. Classic jet design from the 80s, guys. As you can see, brand new in the box, 286. This Wheeljack's Lab, they do sell a lot of packaged toys, so if you are on eBay, I would definitely look them up. You know, if you are collecting and stuff like that, they're a really good seller from what I've heard, and they have a lot of this kind of stuff. The middle one, they've got 57 on it and 28 at the top. So, yeah, not a super expensive character. You'll see a lot of these regular GoBots go between that $20 and $50 mark, and you really can collect them. They're cheaper than the Transformers. There's still quite a few of them out and about. You see them quite often. This cat's awesome. Always looks pissed off, but it's always happy. It's purring right now. You probably can't hear it, but it always looks mad. I don't know why. Next up, we have a variant of the Leader one. This is the blue one. As you can see, $30 in the middle here. $252 in the package. The bottom one is the regular gray one, and it went for $359, brand new. I guess they were just trying to make as many toys as they could, much like G.I. Joe and He-Man and stuff. They would just change the color scheme on some of this stuff and put different stickers on it. Be like, oh, it's a new character, come and buy it. You know, easy peasy. And the toy companies already have the molds and everything set up, so it's easy. It's a very cost-effective way of making a bigger toy line. Next up, we have the Man of War. Anyone listen to that band? They're pretty cool. This ship is pretty neat. $71 on the bottom and then $357 on top. This is a really neat looking GoBot. It's a little bit more detailed than the usual ones. You know, the ones I had was like a helicopter and like the car and stuff like that. Nothing too fancy. Anyways, cool toy. I don't think I've ever really seen this one out and about. I don't think I've ever actually seen it at a store either, but just keep an eye out for it, guys. Next up is the classic Mini Cooper. It's a staple over in Britain. They make it over here now. I'm not a big fan of the car, but I do love the British flag and the design. It's really cool. So yeah, $715 on the top, $218 on 7 bids on the bottom. I'm going to say the person on the bottom probably really shortchanged themselves. I mean, it's a little bit yellowed and not as nice shape as the top one. Probably could have got at least $300-400 for this. As you can see, the one on the top in mint went for $715. Really cool one. It's the Blackbird MR45. I love the design of the Blackbird. It was such an iconic jet back in the 80s. On the top, you see 448 came with the box. And then the bottom 75. So this is one of those more expensive GoBots that you will see. Probably could have got a little bit more on the top one. Just a really neat design. The Blackbird is a timeless design from the 80s, guys. And anyone that grew up in the 80s, when this got unveiled, it was like, oh my God, it was so cool. One up is Rock Lord Saberstone. I'm assuming this is like the Motu stuff that you could make them go into a rock, like Rock On, and I forget what the other ones, Stone Dar or something, I forget. Going along with that line, as you can see, 108 on one bid, 164 by it now, 250 with an insert or comic or whatever is with it. Neat design, not something I would be really interested in. This one seems like it's probably a little rare, guys, so keep an eye out for it. Skyjack. Going along with the theme with the fighter jets, they made a ton of these fighter jet variants and stuff, guys. As you can see, the top one sealed went for $598, and then the bottom 154. The top one looks like it's in really good shape. To find this in the box, that's pretty expensive. And even on the bottom at $154 loose, this is an expensive GoBot. Most of them don't go over $100, guys, so it's one you want to keep an eye out. I'm assuming the other two jets, the gray and the blue one I went over, are more common than this one. It's spacey. As you can see, the bottom one went for $25, $32 in the middle one, and then complete in box, you've got $257. The card looks really good on it, and the bubble looks good. I don't see any yellowing or anything like that. Not a hugely expensive one. This is one that probably sold really well. Most of this space type stuff did sell really well in the 80s, guys. So it's probably a common one that you will be able to see. Next up is Tailpipe. It's modeled after the Nissan Skyline. The Skyline was a very popular car in the 80s. I don't think it was a huge seller, but it is a huge cult following now. As you can see, it's got the classic 80s colors, the orange going to the darker red on the spectrum. You know, this is something you would have saw in the 80s with this car. Top one went for $515, bottom $349. So this is a very expensive one if you can find it. Probably wasn't the most popular one when it came out. That people that are into cars like this would actually purchase something like this. And the last one on the list is Thruster. This one is kind of like a spaceship type design. As you can see in the bottom, 114, 6 bids, 20 on the middle, and then 34 on the top. So not a hugely expensive character, appealing looking, honestly. Still neat. If you can find it for your collection, it's an affordable piece that you can pick up. So yeah, not a hugely long video on the GoBots. A lot of the stuff is still a dime a dozen and you can pick it up relatively cheap. If you're a collector, that's good news for you. You can pick these up and add to your collection without spending a whole bunch of money. Mine just did not take off like the Transformers did. And again, like I was saying, there was such a lot of competition in the market. There was only so much room for these toys, and obviously the Transformers cartoon was much better too. So they really did win the category. The GoBot still has a little niche following, and they are still highly collectible. Some of these toys that I'm making bolo lists, I'm going to start collecting again because I do miss it. I think for Tonka, though, they're still a successful company, and people love the Tonka brand, so I don't think this hurt them too much. I'm sure they did make a boatload of money during the time these were actually out, and then I'm sure they made money when they sold the rights again in the 90s to Hasbro. Just a neat little toy line, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. I know it was rather short. There's not too much to talk about with the GoBots, guys. She went up and then she went down. I hope you're all enjoying the content. If you are, please like, comment, and subscribe below. And hopefully I will see you on the next one. Everyone have a wonderful day. Peace.